Good day, everyone. I was just doing my study from the book of Matthew, in the 24th verse on through the, 24th chapter on to the 25th chapter. But I was reading the passages in regards to the faithful and unfaithful servants. And the one that we're all familiar with, the parable of the 10 virgins, as well as the parable of the talents. So as I was reading the passage about the faithful and unfaithful, it reminded me, well, I'm going to read it first and then I'll tell you what it reminded me of. So in the 42nd verse of the 24th chapter, it says, "Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord does come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be you also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord had made him ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find him so doing." So this just lets us know, even in the times we're living in, is so many people that started out with Christ, but they have gone astray, because for decades we've been hearing that Jesus is soon to come. Jesus is soon to come, and I think people think that he's not coming, because when you look at the way people live and how they're behaving, we as children of God have to be faithful. We have to be faithful, and I just keep thinking of the verse when Jesus says, "Will he find faith on earth when he returns?" And I can understand why, because a lot of people have actually turned away from God. They're not believing that God can, we started out with him, so why would we go back to the ways of the world when we know it does not work for us? I mean, to be delivered and set free from the ways of the world, why would we go back to that when that way does not work? And a lot of people, one of my friends and I were talking, and he was saying, a lot of people who, used to live for the Lord say, "Oh, well, we don't need that, right? We don't need that anymore." It's like they feel like they can do things in their own strength, or it's not a cool way anymore. I don't know what the thoughts are, but we have to be faithful to God, because even when we don't abide faithful, he's always faithful. God is always faithful. We are not, but he is. But also reading this, I thought about on the job. I don't know why I thought about it as I was reading this. It's so many times, and I'm sure some of you can identify with this. When the big boss is coming, like if you work for a corporation, you know how when the top people come from headquarters, it's like, "Okay, make sure y'all have everything in order and do this a certain way." In other words, things that, they would allow you to do some things, but then, okay, now when the big boss comes, you guys can't do this. And to me, it's so hypocritical. Or let's clean up. They just make everything looks so neat and clean, and have these a nice lunch for them. And it's like, the people that are doing the job, why don't you guys have nice lunches for them when they do, they exceed your expectations, or have so many years without accidents, or so many years of quality performance. But what I hated when I was working in private industry is that, why you're putting on a dog and pony show. Just like I used to work for this nonprofit company. We actually, well, I was over the GED program, getting them ready to the former, what's the word I'm looking for? These guys were incarcerated and about to return to society. Okay, and it's like when the people over the program, who were imparting the money to get them ready to return to the community as law-abiding citizens, hopefully, they would put on this dog and pony show and act like, they've always done things like that. To me, it's just so hypocritical. You don't have to pretend or go out of your way to make everything look good. Whatever, whether somebody comes or not, just like your house should always be in order, or you shouldn't have to say, oh, well, let me get my house clean because somebody's stopping by. I mean, if you are doing things consistently, then you don't have to worry about when the top dog is coming, so to speak, or when they're going to show up. You should be ready at all times. I just hated that. It's like, okay, so we putting on this dog and pony show, and acting like, this is how good you treat us, and you're just putting on a show. That's it. And to me, it's just so hypocritical. But that's what I thought about when I was reading about the faithful and unfaithful servants. If you knew, whether he is coming back or not, be ready. That's the whole point here. And Jesus is coming back, whether you believe it or not. He's coming back, so be ready. Don't wait to get ready. And that's what happened with the parable of the virgins. 5 of them were prepared. They were waiting for the bridegroom, but he tarried a little while. So the wise virgins had enough oil for their lamps to light their lamps, and the others had to go and buy oil, and while they were out, the bridegroom came, and so the doors were closed. So we can apply this to our lives because it's the same thing. You have to be ready at all times. On your job, people only do what they expect you to inspect, and we should live our lives. When I say we, if you belong to God, we have to work as we are working unto God, because he is always watching. But the thing is, it just amazes me how people, it's like, okay, you getting away with it from man. You can lie to me, you can deceive people and pull the wool over their eyes, but I guess they don't believe that they have to give account of everything they do to God, because everything that they do, he can see it. So you may be lying and thinking you're getting away with stuff, but you have to answer for everything you do in this life, whether good or bad. We all have to give an account of how we lived our lives. And then the other one with the parable of the talents. How he gave 1 5, 1 2, and then the other 1 talent. And the one with 1 talent did not increase. And it just reminded me, as when we are born again and we are born into the family of God, it's not just for us to sit around and wait and then at the end, here I am, Lord. No. How many more did you bring in? What did you do with what he gave you? He's looking for a return. Everything he put in us is to bring in, is for increase, to bring more. Who are you bringing with you to heaven? If you are on your way to heaven, then you should be bringing others with you. So I just wanted to share that. Again, that's from the 24th chapter of Matthew, starting with the 42nd verse on through the 25th chapter. But we just have to be faithful and know that Jesus is coming back, whether you believe it or not. And you have to be ready. I have to be ready. We don't know. No man knows the day or the hour. Only the Father knows. Only the Father knows that set time. So we must not gamble, so to speak, on Well, I'll wait till the end. I'm not ready to come to the Lord yet. You don't know the day or the hour. You don't know. But we must always be ready. And we must abide faithful, doing what he has called us to do. To always be prepared and not to be left behind. But going back to the jobs, it's like I said, and I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. How on jobs, when certain people are coming, it could be a client, you put on a good show. But if you are who you say you are, it's consistent. You don't have to put on a show because that's who you are. You don't have to pretend to be something for one day or a week, however long the top people are going to be there to make them believe that you got it going on or doing things right when you are really not. And I just hate that. Even like with the schools, when I taught school, it was the same thing. Well, so and so is coming by to critique you, but this is how my class is run. But you have to put stuff together. Okay, this is what we do. This is what we do, regardless of who is watching or not. Always do the right thing. So that's all I wanted to share from these passages of Scripture. Have a good day.